family in Utah claims they were abducted from the safety of their home and held prisoner on board a UFO. Other people have also reported being captured by extraterrestrials. A man in Wyoming claims that while he was hunting, he came face to face with alien beings and was forcibly taken on board their spacecraft. Many people insist they have been kidnapped by aliens and imprisoned on board UFOs. The phenomenon is called a close encounter of the fourth kind.
This series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest some possible explanation, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine.
500 billion stars in our galaxy alone, each a seething universe spitting fire and light. Only recently have the powerful eyes of radio telescopes given mankind a glimpse of the infinity of space. Astronomers maintain that if intelligent life exists on distant worlds, the likelihood of it crossing the endless chasm of time and space is next to impossible. Yet, 50,000 UFO sightings are reported each year. Some are backed by what is purported to be concrete evidence, like the suspended image of a UFO captured by an Arizona cameraman in 1966. The television cameraman isn't the only person who's convinced that he has proof that UFOs are visiting the Earth. What's even more startling are the first-hand accounts of people who insist that they've been abducted by extraterrestrials. These people claim to have been held as prisoners on board spacecraft, examined by aliens, and then released. What makes their testimony difficult to dismiss is that it comes from average Americans. Carl Higdon is the foreman of an oil rig in Rawlins, Wyoming. He's been at the same job for 15 years, working 6 days a week to support a family of 7. His crew refers to him as the Wyoming Coyote because of his feisty determination to get the job done against all odds. An experienced woodsman with a love for the hunt, he looks forward to those days he can retreat into the forest. However, one October morning in 1974 was to be different from all other days. Carl recreates the events as he remembers them.
I went to pick up my crew to go to work, and one of them was sick, so we couldn't work. So I came back to the house and decided I'd go hunting. So I decided to go on down into the forest, and I hunted down there until, it must have been around 4 o'clock. So I walked down over this hill. Whenever I got over the hill, I seen these 5 elk standing down there. One of them was a big bull, so I raised my gun to shoot.
Then, something happened beyond his range of experience. Carl blacked out. When he regained consciousness, he was aware that an undetermined period of time had elapsed and that he had lost touch with reality. He stumbled through the forest in a dazed condition, trying desperately to figure out where he was and how he could get help. By 8 in the evening, Marjorie Higdon became alarmed when her husband hadn't returned. She called for a search party.
Hello, Marilyn? Yes, this is Margie. Carl's not in from hunting yet, and I was wondering if you guys could take me out and look for him. Yeah, I know, but he's not in yet. Yeah, but I don't have a four-wheel drive. Uh-huh. Well, I don't know. I just feel like I ought to go look for him.
Carl's friends discovered him in a semi-conscious state. They were disturbed by his incoherent ramblings.
What happened?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. It seems strange. I don't know.
You sure you're all right?
Yeah?
You're not hurting anywhere?
No.
Okay.
Get you out of here and get you to the doctor as soon as we can.
Carl was rushed to the emergency ward of the Carbon County Hospital, where he had trouble seeing, hearing, and speaking. Nurse Ella Peterson attended him for 3 days. During that time, he remained mainly in an amnesiac state, unable to recall his own name or recognize his wife. After the incident, life in Rawlins changed for Carl. He was too disoriented to work or function normally. In desperation, he contacted the UFO agency, APRO, who sent Dr. Leo Sprinkle to investigate.
I serve as a consultant in psychology, and my primary interest is working with those people who claim to not only see flying saucers, but also claim to have had some kind of abduction experience or some kind of contact, face-to-face contact with alien beings who are associated with the UFOs. I myself have investigated 23 persons using hypnotic techniques to assist them to recall the experience.
Okay, let yourself relax deeply and go right back to that same deep concentration, that same deep relaxation. Let the muscles relax. Let yourself know that you can breathe deeply and easily as you look at the spot.
Sometimes these people have a loss of time experience, an amnesic period, which occurs during the UFO sighting, and then later they check their watches and find out that they have lost some time, which they cannot account for. And these cases are most exciting and interesting because it suggests the possibility that the persons have been taken on board, have been examined, and then released, and have been told that they will not remember what has happened.
A fire. The bullet don't look right. There's somebody. Strange. He wants me to go with him. Lights are bright. Lights are... I can't keep my eyes open. I can't see. They look like me, same features. He said the sun burns them. He's gonna take me back.
Just let yourself go back inside the cubicle. What happens inside the cubicle?
Oh. I can't get in, there ain't no door.
Do you know how you get in?
No. We're above the trees. I can see pretty good. The ball looks like a basketball, but it's got a blue gray outline. It's kind of dark, no lights. There's the lights again. We're back.
In the investigation of a case, Dr. Sprinkle attempts to establish an abductee's credibility.
Shock condition.
He closely questioned Nurse Peterson to determine Carl's condition immediately following the incident.
He kept his eyes closed most of the time, saying that they hurt quite a bit. And other than that, why, he had no complaints of pain.
Raise both arms for me. This first detachment goes across your upper abdomen.
In order to corroborate the story, he arranged for a polygraph exam to be administered.
Regarding whether or not you actually had that UFO experience in question, do you intend to answer truthfully each question to that? Yes. Did you ride in that spacecraft you described to me? Yes.
In my own personal opinion, I find with the cases I've investigated that there seems to be no evidence of hoax. There seems to be no evidence of a psychotic reaction which has caused the individual to falsely believe that he or she has had an abduction, so that I'm left with the mysterious and sometimes uncomfortable feeling that the cases are happening as the individuals describe. That is, that they are being taken on board, examined, and released by intelligent beings who, for their own reasons, are engaging in these experiences.
Carl managed to work through a traumatic incident that he had been unable to live with. With the help of Dr. Sprinkle, he no longer was haunted by nightmares. He no longer doubted his own sanity. The abduction experience was resolved to his own satisfaction, and Carl resumed his work with a new vigor.
It don't make a hill of beans to me whether anybody believes it or not. I know what happened to me. If people want to take it at face value, that's fine. If they don't, it don't make me any difference. The only thing I'm saying is if this does happen to anybody else, what they are to do is talk to somebody about it. Not to hold it inside and try to conquer it themselves, because it can't be done, I don't think. I don't think our mind can take it. As far as the experience happening to me, I think if it hadn't been for Dr. Sprinkle, I probably would have been in an institution by now.
Carl's is not the only abduction case. There are others who claim to have been UFO captives. The giant mills outside of Salt Lake City are the center of steel production in the West.
My name is Pat Roach, and I work at the steel company in Orem. I'm a millwright apprentice. I should be a journeyman in another year or two.
Pat is one of 5,000 employees at the steelworks. When she completes her training as a millwright apprentice, she will be the only woman licensed to make repairs on the heavy machinery. When the work whistle blows, Pat hurries home to her #1 responsibility. She is the sole support of 5 young children. October 16th, 1973, the normal flow of her life was dramatically altered. Pat recreates the events for In Search Of.
It was about 8 o'clock in the evening. My little boy was 4 at the time. He climbed up beside me and he had his blanket with him, and we fell asleep.
Sometime between 8 and midnight, something invaded the privacy of Pat's home. Her children, normally alert to strange sounds in the night, slept on, as if put in a deep trance. They would later believe that they were abducted during their sleep. Only one child reported seeing something too strange to believe. Police Sergeant Ray Edwards answered Pat's call for help. He investigated the area, but could find no evidence of an attempted break-in.
Whiskey Alpha Fox 372.
The following morning, Edwards filed an official report, leaving the case open.
Fox 372.
He dismissed the claim of Pat's 6-year-old Deborah, who insisted the house had been invaded by spacemen. Nevertheless, for the Roach family, an unsettling mystery still hung over their household and was to persist for the next 2 years. UFO investigators believe victims suppress the memory of an abduction because they are programmed to do so. Researchers feel, however, that children stand a better chance than adults of resisting mind manipulation.
I wouldn't have actually known what happened that night. I probably wouldn't have even investigated it at all if it hadn't been for the fact that 2 of my children were just positive that they were spacemen. I began reading about UFOs, and I began looking at magazines that had stories about UFOs and seeing other people's experiences. And I thought, there must be more to it than what we know. And so I thought, well, the only way we'll find out any more is to go under hypnotism.
Tell me more about the time.
In order to recall the events, Pat contacted Dr. Jim Harder of APRO, the Aerial Phenomenon Research Organization.
And I and 2 other members of APRO are in charge of the close encounter investigations. What I mean by that essentially are close encounters in which people have had intimate contact with what could only be called alien beings. I have talked with 30 or 40 people who've had such experiences. Now, in various degrees, I've been able to regress them through particular experiences. 1, 0. Your whole body's feeling very heavy and relaxed, except that your left arm is beginning to feel
The hypnosis enabled Pat to retrieve memories that she had long buried.
So I remember what the interior of the spaceship looked like. It seemed that the walls fell away as you went to the ceiling, and you could see the stars and everything. There was a TV scanner that would start at the top of my head and go all the way down and come back again. It was like an eye. I was examined by a man that was just an ordinary man. He was a little over 6 foot tall. So I was very upset because he came at me with a needle, a long needle, right here. I was angry with them because I didn't feel that they had any right to come into someone's home and take them. And what I was particularly upset with them about was that I didn't know where my children were. They know everything about us physically, how to make us well, and everything about how our body operates, but they can't understand our emotions and our feelings and our ideas about things. They don't understand us. I don't believe that they really want me to go on TV and tell my story, because if it's happened to other people, they might start putting the pieces together and realize that they've had the same experience.
Powerful radio telescopes point to the heavens, listening to the noise of the universe. Astronomers committed to the concept that it is impossible for extraterrestrial life to come to Earth believe that if contact is made, it will come through a radio signal across the infinite expanse of space. But there are others, ordinary men and women, who insist that intimate contact has already been made.